Okay, so today we're going to talk about a concept that could totally change the way we build our cities. It's called bio-integrated architecture. And I want you to forget everything you know about concrete and steel for a minute, because we're talking about buildings that are, well, they're literally alive.
I mean, just think about it for a second. What if your apartment building could clean the air around you, grow its own food, and maybe even change with the seasons all by itself? Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? Well, guess what? It's not. This is a real architectural movement that's happening right now.
So how do we even get there? Well, it all starts with a huge shift in thinking. We're talking about moving away from these, sterile concrete jungles we've built and towards creating genuine, living ecosystems. Okay, so the core idea here is what's called bio-integrated architecture. And look, this is way more than just sticking a few potted plants in the lobby or having a cool rooftop garden. No, no. This is about weaving living things, we're talking algae, fungi, entire ecosystems, right into the very fabric of the building, into the walls, the windows, the whole shebang. And this really lays out the huge difference we're talking about, right? On one side, you have our classic concrete jungles. They're passive, they're sterile, and man, do they eat up a ton of energy. But on the other side, you have living buildings. These things are dynamic, they adapt, and get this, they can actually produce their own energy. It's a total flip of the script. Now, like I said, this isn't just some pie-in-the-sky idea. There are incredible prototypes already out there, buildings that literally breathe. Let's take a look at a couple of pioneers that are showing us exactly what's possible. Okay, first up, let's head to Hamburg, Germany to check out the BIQ House. And BIQ stands for Bio-Intelligent Quotient, which is pretty cool. This building is a true trailblazer because it is the world's very first building powered entirely by algae. So how on earth does that work, right? Well, the whole outside of the building is covered in these glass panels, and they're filled with tiny microalgae. When the sun shines, the algae do their thing, photosynthesis, and they grow. This process creates biomass and heat, and the building cleverly captures all of that to generate power. Plus, in the summer, the dense algae create natural shade to keep things cool. The building's skin is basically a living, breathing, power-generating organ. How amazing is that? All right, for our next stop, we're heading to Milan, Italy. This is the Bosco Verticale, which translates to vertical forest, and honestly, that name is spot on. This project completely rethinks what a high-rise apartment building can be. So you're looking at two towers that are just draped in green. We're talking hundreds of trees and thousands of shrubs and plants. It's basically the equivalent of 5 acres of forest stacked vertically. This living skin does so much. It creates its own little microclimate, it filters out pollution, sucks up CO2, pumps out oxygen, and it even becomes a home for birds and insects, boosting the city's biodiversity. It's an oasis in the middle of a city. Okay, so these buildings look absolutely stunning, right? But this is about so much more than just a pretty face. The real-world benefits for our cities and for us are huge. Let's talk energy first, because it's a big one. If you look at a traditional building, it's just a massive energy hog. It's one of the biggest sources of energy consumption on the planet. But then you look at a bio-integrated building, and that consumption just plummets. Because they can generate their own power and cool themselves naturally, they barely need to rely on the grid. For making our cities sustainable, this is an absolute game changer. And the winds just keep on coming. You get cleaner air because the plants are natural filters. You get more biodiversity, more birds, more bees, right in the middle of the city. These buildings are actively fighting climate change by sequestering carbon. And maybe most importantly, there's the effect on us. I mean, who wouldn't feel better living and working surrounded by nature? The psychological benefits are real and they are powerful. So if that's what's happening now, what does the future look like? Well, get ready because things are about to get even weirder and more amazing. We're talking about fungi and some other technologies that are straight out of science fiction. Okay, check this out. We can literally grow bricks. I'm not kidding. It's done with mycelium, which is basically the root system of mushrooms. You just take some waste material like sawdust, add the mycelium, put it in a mold, and just let it grow. In a few days, you have a brick that's super strong, incredibly light, and even fire-resistant. We can grow our own walls. It's unbelievable. And if you thought that was wild, it gets crazier. Scientists are working on concrete that can heal itself.
Yeah, they put bacteria inside it, and if a crack forms, the bacteria wake up and produce limestone to fill it in. We're also looking at facades that use glow-in-the-dark organisms to light up our streets. Imagine that. No more streetlights, just glowing buildings. We're heading towards a future where our buildings aren't just built, they're alive, responsive, and can take care of themselves.
So when you step back and look at all this, you realize this isn't just about a few cool buildings. This is about a whole new philosophy. We're talking about shifting from building our cities to growing them. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. This is a glimpse into a future where cities are not just built, but grown, fostering a healthier human-nature relationship. That's really the heart of it all, isn't it? The ultimate goal is to stop building cities that fight against nature and start growing cities that work with nature, creating a partnership, really, between us and the planet. So that really leaves us with a big question to think about. We're facing some huge challenges, climate change, growing cities. The pressure is on. The amazing thing is, the ideas and the technology we've just talked about, they exist. They're real. So the only question left for us is, how are we going to choose to grow our cities of tomorrow?